Plymouth's biggest event of the year, Music in Plymouth, is set for Tuesday, July 3rd.
Now in its 40th year, it's part of the city's rich history. But there's a few things about Plymouth that might surprise you. Our Delane Cleveland found a trio of things that you might not know.
3 things you didn't know about Plymouth. Let's start off with the very beginning. Back when Plymouth was first incorporated in 1858, it didn't take long for the early settlers to realize they didn't exactly like the name Plymouth.
We don't know why. Maybe it's just because somebody else had named it. They wanted to name it.
The Hennepin County Board of Commissioners are the ones who decided to name the settlement Plymouth. But in a document dated June 1st, 1858, when Plymouth was just weeks old, town officials voted for the name Medicine Lake.
And so 1 year went by, and so next April they had another annual meeting, and it was called to order in the name of Medicine Lake.
Fast forward again to April of 1860, and the town was once again called Plymouth. Historians can only speculate as to why.
We think it's because when they went to the county board saying, here's the name we want, they said, we named it. And there could have been legal ramifications to that because there might have been reference to it in property records and so forth.
But that's not the last that we'd hear of that name Medicine Lake. About 90 years later, a small segment of Plymouth decided to branch off and start up its own town. Since 1944, the small city of Medicine Lake has existed on its own.
They felt that they weren't getting the attention they needed for their roads, so they thought if they broke off and became their own community, they could really maintain those roads up to the level that they thought was appropriate.
Historians say that many of the homes along Medicine Lake once belonged to Minneapolis residents who wanted a place to escape from city life.
Gee, we got miles and miles of gravel road, and here we got a small group of people on the peninsula complaining about their road. Those city slickers, let them pay for their own road kind of a thing.
Yet today, Mayor Kelli Slavik says the two cities work well together.
We work with them, we collaborate with them, we work for ways to improve water quality and to improve recreation on the lake. So it's a great relationship, and there's certainly no hard feelings dating back to 1944.
America was a much different place back in 1858, and here at the old Plymouth Town Hall, the Plymouth Historical Society pays homage to that era with one special item.
Well, what we have here is a 32-star flag when Minnesota was introduced into the Union.
Every year that a new state was admitted into the Union, the federal government would issue a new flag on the 4th of July. And inside the old Plymouth Town Hall hangs a replica of that 32-star flag from 1858, when Minnesota became a state and the only year the flag was valid.
The following year, Oregon was admitted to the Union. So that's a trivia kind of question that you could use with your friends or relatives at some Thanksgiving time, let's say.
For 3 Things in Plymouth, Delane Cleveland, 12 News.
And by the way, Music in Plymouth celebrates its 40th anniversary this year. The event at the Hildy Performance Center attracts thousands to the city. It takes place Tuesday at 5 p.m. and wraps up at 10 p.m. with a fireworks celebration. So some interesting things.
I didn't know,
Yes,
right?
3 of them, interesting things.